shoot people in World of Warships. This is something else I like to do. I play Monster Hunter World. And today I'm going to try to beat the hell out of Teostra in Day of Ruin mission. So yeah, well, I do like this game. And I played it for a bit. I'm not perfect at it. And I don't really use a sword and shield normally. Normally I use something a lot bigger. So if I die, I don't suck. I just suck with what I'm using. All in all, let's get started. True. Give a sexy lady an outfit. Certain one I like. There we go. A little ghostly string from the end of my weapon. The game has such nice graphics, you can actually turn them all the way up. Here we are, is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be Teostra hunting. Mean, angry, fiery elder dragon. Good for dropping, as you can see right there at the bottom, sealed fake stones. Give you decos. And according to my friend, one of the better ways to get attack plus 4 decos, which I currently have 2. Need one more. But they're hella rare, so if you decide to abuse the hell out of this mission for it, don't be discouraged. They'll show up eventually. It just might be when your feet stick to the floor because hell froze over. And mind you, if you do this mission, Teostra is very fiery. It'll put burn DOT on you. It also, I don't usually notice it all the time. I think it's when it gets into its fight or flight mode and does its limit break BS that it starts doing blast to you. So, if you're not very experienced, you could use blast resistance and fire resistance and a cooling deco if you have one. And it'll make it a little bit easier. But probably the one thing that makes it the easiest is having a second person, so you can hit it with a Dragonator in the beginning. Next thing that's nice is being good at wall banging it. Because, yeah, it does a lot of damage. And you want him to die as quick as possible, because the longer you let this drag on, the more likely he is to step on your face. Next thing that helps, if you got the balls for it, you can do attack up. If you feel squishy, there's defense. But the best thing in my opinion is this, because the elemental damage from him sucks. A lot. So, because a sword doesn't do a lot of damage, I'm not going to bless it with attack. I'm already defensive, so I'm not going to eat fish. I'm going to go and eat the vegetables like Mama told me to. And we're going to go with some elemental res. I know the proportions of this are completely unrealistic. But I'll tell you one thing, do not get stoned and play this game, because every time you get food, it might make you hungry. Not even have to be baked, and this makes me hungry. Even though it's a meal fit for an army. A beer would be nice right now, though. Alright, people, here we go. So as you can see, it tells you right away, right there, the roaming ballista can be used, which is a automatic ballista that looks like a Gatling gun, and then the Dragon Razor, which launches a big-ass lance at it. But you have to have it in a good position, and that's why you need two people, because without two people, it's very hard to land that thing. And while the place that you're fighting in is covered in cannons and cannonballs to load up into them, trying to load the cannon while you're fighting him does nothing but invoke a bad ass whooping from him. Because it's like immediate aggro, you can't do it in peace, not even if you have two people. He will never let you do it. So don't play with the cannons. Unless you're built for it. And there is a way to build yourself for it, I just never done it. Got some rocks. We'll get some rocks. And as you can see, he's already pissed. Right into the stairs. 630 points of damage. And if you just simply roll. Blast or burn attacks. Destroy my gallery. Best thing you could possibly do is try to keep this thing away from him. He hates it with a passion. And if you do use it, make sure well, he destroys it pretty quickly. But you can keep it alive. Doesn't destroy it. It will recharge, but you have to empty it for it to recharge. mind you, he is an Elder Dragon. This is Master Rank MR 100 or higher. So he does hit like a truck. And he has the health to back up his bullshit. Don't feel like me. Make sure you take these things off. And if you can see, right there, just for reference, see his heartbeat next to his picture right there at the bottom left. If it's very rapid looking, you will not be able to wall bang it. Guess what? He's pissed. Why? No wall banging but angry. Right now, fiery kitty away. Ass beating. He will go down again. And I'll tell you guys my more favorite method of whooping this big fiery manicore ass is with a hammer, believe it or not. And if you have slugger / knockout built up as high as you can get it, and then on top of that, you have Heartbreaker. He becomes kind of a walk in the park. You know, you can just decimate him with a hammer. He doesn't like hammers. It doesn't like impact, just kind of flatly, you know, being hit with the wall hurts a lot. But right now, as you can see, his heartbeat, his heartbeat is irregular. And as you can see with little rapid signs on it. So that would mean that he is very pissed, and wall banging is not possible. So if you try, it'll be in vain. I'm not quite sure, but if any of you have ever played this game and you're more familiar with it than I am, I think when they're enraged and you try to mount them and they attack in any way or form, it throws you off and does a lot of damage. Maybe not a good idea to try to mount. She was hairy down there, she isn't anymore. Calm down and say hello to Cannon. Avoid it like the plague. It's not always instant death, but if you're a very light class and you didn't build yourself for extra health or defense or anything like that, it might one-shot you. contrary to what a lot of people do, that's from what I can tell, is that some people play on the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatever platform they're playing on. But it is not a computer, and those people, I can tell you, by comparison to PC players, are very spoiled. Because the stats on the armor do not match up at all. At least in my opinion. I could be wrong. I mean, you walk up here to the artillery area, and he's right on your butt immediately. He does not want you playing with guns. But apparently the slingshot on your arm is okay. Not gonna happen. And as you can see, it punched him in the face. Shit didn't work out. It looks a little calmer now. And lo and behold, it is calmer. And another 630. He's a very angry kitty. Or she. I don't remember. I can't remember one of the red ones is female. Actually, I think this is Daddy, if I had to be an honest answer. Like any man, I don't mind mounting a cat. Assuming I can. And if you see him stunned like this, hit him with a clap. It lengthens the stun duration that he's in. Do your best not to die during this mission. I'll show you the person who's holding a shield. This attack is actually survivable if you have the shield gem. But if you don't have the shield gem, be elsewhere or be on the floor. Stadium was so nice. I remember to play the game. He has horns and he does act like a bull. Bad fiery temper. Alright, now we have the triple strike and Kitty Cat's back. I think he has a headache, but it's about to get worse. Sometimes he doesn't always react well, even though you try. Sometimes he'll only let you punch him in the face once. Those are the blasts. I want to avoid those. I think he's angry. I don't think he likes being punched in the face. So, things you can break on him. And I'll just let you know about. You can cut off his tail. You can break his wings. You may or may not be able to break his legs. I do not remember. It doesn't keep him from moving though. And you can break his face. Normally this is my favorite spot, by the way, for a hammer. Because the sliding attack off of the hammer is just amazing. I broke something. I don't know what it is yet. It's on the ground first. Just for reference, as you can see, let me pay attention. If you augment your weapons, you can get life leech on them. And life leech is a buff saver. There's no other good way to put that. Barbecue. reset it. That's why you avoid them. Overheard slow. Can't make total sense, right? Big, evil, fiery dragon outside. And you got time to eat a full-course meal meant for 4 people. And they're 2 separate exits, by the way. This one will take you to the platform. And if he's not that swifty, which he really isn't, be able to do this. Might need to do this twice. Probably will not hit him. Unless I get him stuck right where I need him to be. Other ways of doing it. Let's see. Just needs to be close enough to hear this. And in the head. So you can do this solo. It's just a lot of work. And it does a lot of damage. Part about it is that it does not completely piss him off like you would think it would. Actually, considering how close to dying he actually is. Okay, that got there. Bad Garfield, settle down. It's just how he is. Come here. As you can see, if you look at the min-map, you have that little skull above it. And that means you're dealing with the final aspects of the counterpart. As shown above. I did die once, so I do not expect perfect rewards. But you should get something. Next time, for whoever watches this, you'll see my friend with me, and we will gloriously hammer him down to death. It'll look like Mike Tyson beating up a noob. He'll be on the ground constantly. Not all the time. Keep in mind that when you fight him, I don't know if it's just me and my friends' badass luck, but it's happened to us maybe one time in 3 when you fight him. And sometimes when you fight him, he will be on par, on target, and the angriest, fiery, tempered kitty cat that you've ever seen. I mean, like, last night was a great example. I would have recorded that, but just to keep the honor of me and my friend, I decided probably not. But he flattened us pretty hard. Like, literally, despite the fact that I had a diversion gem plugged into my armor, which is supposed to make the monster attack you more often than the other people that are with you, kind of making you like a tank. And he ignored me, beat the hell out of my friend, Nova'd me to death, and mind you that this form I'm talking about, normally you get to see him kind of float off into the air and do his Nova thing, but when he's like that, he Novas like that. It's just brutal, it hurts, and he does this another thing my friend calls the Wombo Combo. Other monsters do this stuff too. It's an Elder Dragon thing. Yeah, basically, they'll knock you to the ground. They'll wait for you to start to get up. And then they'll do something that hits you. And in 2 or 3 hits, in your effort trying to get off the ground, maybe even despite your friend or ally's best efforts, it'll kill you. So be careful. It has a I will screw you out of this battle in rewards mode. Like I said, it's also an Elder Dragon thing, so they all do it. Alright, time to take a peek at rewards. So it drops good gems, most of them 4 slots, decent 2s. Oh damn, that could have been an attack +4. Yeah, mind you, an attack will be attack +4 will be a red gem, like the one I have highlighted there. It'll be that color. It'll be a 4-point decoration, and it gives you 2 points to attack boost. Good thing. Nothing I really need, but nice stuff nonetheless. And Destroyer right there. Good stuff. Mind you, if anyone has trouble farming in this game, there are some good ways to farm. Both money and research points. I could release a guide on it, but it's boring. and I'll only do it once. And it'll be in fast forward. So you don't have to suffer through the hours and hours that it is to do it. There are other good ways to do it too, but there is a non-battle, not to get your butt kicked mode. Alright, all things considered, I don't suck that bad with the sword. But for all of you that are curious, go to equipment. So right now, due to the fact, hold on 1 second. Not trying to look like the light of God over here. Alright, due to the fact that I beat up Fatalis, which I will let you know, if you're new to this game and you've had an easy way through the storyline, well, I'll tell you something. Fatalis, no joke. That is one, pardon my language, but one fucked up dragon. Kicks ass and takes names. But right now, getting to the build part of this, and this is just me messing around with sword and shield. Never used it before, so I don't know what I'm doing. I just went for the butt whooping, so that's what I set it up for. So, in a critical eye at 7, we have agitator level 6. And for those of you that don't know about this, and only certain pieces of armor do it, if you see this little purple square right there next to the agitator, those are bonus levels that multiple skills have. Not all of them have it. Divine Blessing has it, as you can see. Agitator has it. Second, thinking about the other one here. Oh yes, it's either Slugger or Knockout that has it. No, wait. I think it's the same damn skill. Heartbreaker doesn't have it. It's the Knockout that has it. And yeah, if you have the Fatalis armor on, you can abuse these bonus skills. And I haven't made a build ahead of the thought, but I imagine there could be some good way to do it. So there is good rewards if you actually manage to collect all the Fatalis armor, get it augmented, find a weapon you like, etc., so on and so forth. Good luck, happy hunting with that. So yes, Critical Eye 7, Agitator 6, earplugs from the Earplugs Charm 5, and then I have attack boost at a decent level. You get attack and affinity from Agitator, so it's not that big of a loss. Guard is good to have if you have anything with a shield. Stun resistance comes natural with the Fatalis armor at 3, nothing added. Very good to have, especially when you fight big evil things. Health boost recommended for anybody. Weakness exploit, obviously you want to do damage, as much damage as possible. Flinch free is a good skill to have. Offensive guard. I have started to really like offensive guard. And that's for anything. That's if I'm gun lancing. I don't lance. Lance is boring to me. The sword and shield and gun lance, both things that use shield. This gives it, at its maximum bonus, I think 15% extra attack for a short period of time. It's not a completely short period of time, but it's good. Constitution helps your stamina. I should have it a little higher. Yeah, but it's good to have nonetheless. And then Tool Specialist, for those of you that are new, not really sure, if you have a square with a diamond in the middle of it, That means that it's active, but it's inside of your mantles. And it'll only be active if you have those mantles on. And I recommend you use Tool Specialist in your mantles, just because when one's down and the other one's up, the one that's down gets to recharge quicker. You have a critical bonus at 1, and I'll explain why that's at 1. Because at one point of it, you get 30% extra critical attack, or critical boost. So you do 30% more on critting. Well, next level isn't worth it, and the maxed out level is only kind of worth it. So it goes 30, 35, and 40. If it went 30, 40, 50, I guarantee you I would have that all the way up, but I don't see any point in 10 extra percent on criticals. Not even if I'm begging for damage. Now, the important thing here that I mentioned earlier in the video, which was Guard Up. Guard Up allows you to block unblockable attacks. So attacks that would normally whoop your butt, put you down, like Old Yeller at the end of the movie. That skill allows you to survive that BS. Great if you have a blockable weapon. Believe it or not, I think I tried it on Greatsword, and you can block on Greatsword, but LOL on blocking on Greatswords. It helps sometimes, but it's not something you'll often do with it. But I think it works with it, just because it's the only other weapon besides a shielded one that can block. So there's that build for you. That's just something I put together last night. I was bored. But for what I usually beat Teostra up with, we have right here Fatalis Demolisher. Big, ugly, evil hammer. Look at that. Nothing you want to see someone wielding in a dark alley when you're walking down it. That is a hammer that means business. Okay. So, because you are on a weapon that punishes you if you're not efficient about your movements, I recommend earplugs with any kind of heavy weapon. So whether it be the Greatsword or the Giant Hammer of Doom, or just any weapon that might slow you down. I mean, sometimes I use it on my gun lance build just because you move like a turtle. Okay. And mounting with a hammer means a lot of pain for the monster you're fighting. So that's why I have the glider mantle. It allows you to kind of fly to an extent. And it allows for easier mounting, so it's kind of said in its description. It doesn't always work. And I believe there is kind of a cooldown in between mounts because I can't get them consistently. But yes, glider mantle, great option. Now, because this build is based around giving the monster a horrible concussion, you have the impact mantle. This improves how well you will be able to put the monster down and allow you or your teammates to just have free time to beat him up as you please. Okay, so for this build, ignore earplugs because that's on the charm. So you want your hits to count, so you want your crit as high as possible. And so crit maxed out. You have Slugger. Slugger is your ability to put the monster on the floor. Good stuff. An Agitator, which is an amazing thing to combine with earplugs, because Agitator only activates when the monster roars. And then, I don't even know why I have it on there. Probably because, yeah, it's time to get the hell out of the way. So evade window. Stun resistance comes natural from the Vitalis armor. Health boost. because you're slow and you need to get away still sometimes. And surviving is good. Weakness exploit for more damage. Crit boost at 1. Heat guard is not normally something I stick on there, but given the only thing that really protects me from Teostra when I fight him, that helps with the kind of latent fire damage that's all over the place. And then Part Breaker, because breaking stuff is what a hammer's good at. You have Airborne right here. Airborne is basically if you jump in the air and you decide you're going to bring down the hammer on their head or whatever body part is in front of you at the time, it adds 30% more attack to it. Or maybe damage. I don't know. Have to read that again. And then you have Affinity Sliding, which comes in handy for when you do the slide, hammer spin through the air. I'll give you an example of that here in a second. A Clutch Claw boost is a great thing, especially for wall banging. If you have the Clutch Claw boost, it's easier to grip onto the monster, and when you weaken a spot, it usually weakens the first time. And on top of that, most of the time, maybe 75% of the time, it'll drop something for you to shoot out of your little arm crossbow cannon thing. And then, like before, Tool Specialist, because yes, you need to abuse the mantles. Constitution I would have at a higher rate, but at 1 it's still useful. I was still fine-tuning this at one point. The Constitution's good with hammers, and I'll explain why. Because when you decide to do heavy swinging, and I use Xbox controller, so it's the big right trigger at the bottom. If you hold that down, your hammer will start to charge. Okay, and then if you hit B, you can hold however many charges you put on it, 1 to 3, and then it'll start to charge up again. So, let's see here. Alright, I forget what the first charge does, but the second charge basically is a lunging upswing with the hammer. And if you're good with that lunging upswing, it can put a monster on its butt. I've seen my friend do it many a time. He's very good at doing that. And then if you hold it down for the third charge, you basically do a little twirly whirlwind with the hammer. And I don't recommend letting that one go on too long because it stalls you out. So maybe 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, and then you hit Y. Well, for me it's Y. And then Y will result in an uppercut hit. And then after that goes, if everything has gone well, you can use B, and B is a series of 5 hits, maybe 4, and you go wham, 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 and then your character does like a little mini twirl that does damage, and then a very heavy, hard-hitting overhead swing. And there's a trick to this, actually. So you don't need to do the double hold the charge thing with the hammer for this to work. So let the hammer charge up 3 times. Don't move. And just let the button go. And if you do that, you will do that little overhead swing without any extra effort beating the hell out of them with B, which takes forever. And even if they're laying on the ground, you probably won't get it all the way off. But yes, actually, I kind of forgot what I was talking about. Yes, Constitution. So yes, when you're holding the hammer on that third charge, on the second set of charges, your stamina, first set or second, will start to go down, and Constitution delays that a little bit. So I would honestly say maybe 2 or 3 if you want to build it into it. And I think it would be higher if I didn't have the heat guard on it. those of you that don't explore, there's a training area. Regrettably, you can't tell the wagon to attack. But this isn't what that's about. We don't even need the wagon. We don't even need a target. Actually, I'll entertain you. Let's get a target. I'll show you how nice this is. Go figure out the aim. I didn't want to have the aim. But we have a hill. Alright. This is ready. So as you can see, I'm holding it, and you can see the stamina already going down. So then if you hit E, now we have a big evil glowing hammer. And slide. And look at that. 1,200 points of damage with heavy amounts of stun. And like I said, don't move. And you have another good attack. Making a point of how long this is. Now, if you do the whole combo right, yes, it does a lot of damage, but good luck getting that to go off on anything that cares about living. I kind of forget how to do it, but there is... trying to remember how to do that. That was kind of cool. I need to remember that one. There's that, like I said. Let's see what the first one is. Okay, so it's just a heavy swing. But this is the one that counts. You want to try it. Get good at it because monsters don't like it. Not very good at that last one. So basically, as you can see there, with the clutch claw, they shot it out, and then your character will propel themselves off the ground and do a little twirl. Let me go the other way so I can just do the hand animations there for you. And that hurts too. But with this build and the knockout power, you want to hit the monster as many times as you can for the knockout to proc. So there you go. I wish you the best of luck. You don't need a hammer to knock something out either. You can do it with a sword. I've done it before. Just the hammer's the best at it.